Hi there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be talking about Realme 9 Pro and Realme 9 Pro Plus. Realme did not want to wait for the Mobile World Congress to present its first batch of smartphones. The company not quite long announced the Realme 9i, and now they have unveiled the Realme 9 Pro and Realme 9 Pro Plus, its premium mid-range smartphones. The Realme 9 Pro comes with a 120Hz screen and the Snapdragon 695 5G processor, while the Realme 9 Pro Plus, which is the first Pro Plus of the firm, mounts a 90Hz AMOLED panel and the MediaTek Dimensity 925G. The former starts at €329.99 and the latter at €399.99. Having made the introductions, let's get to know them better. Let's start with the Realme 9 Pro. This device comes with a very interesting finish in its blue version, Light Shift. In short, it is based on the photochromic principle to switch between blue and red, something inspired by the sunrise. According to Realme, under normal sunlight, it changes from blue to red in about 3 seconds. A most peculiar finish, no doubt, which it shares with its Pro Plus model. The device has a fingerprint reader on the side, as its display is IPS and LCD. And speaking of the screen, it is a 6.6-inch panel with Full HD Plus resolution and 120Hz adaptive refresh rate with 6 levels, from 30 to 120 Hz as expected. It is perforated in one of the corners to house the front camera. Under the hood, there is the Snapdragon 695 5G processor, launched late last year, along with 6 to 8 gigs of RAM. This will be virtually expandable using the internal memory as RAM with up to 5 GB. The internal storage, meanwhile, is 128 or 256 GB, depending on the version chosen. A 5000 mAh battery with 33 watts fast charging and Android 12 with Realme UI 3.0 gives life to this whole set. To avoid overheating, the firm has implemented an intelligent charging algorithm and a vapor chamber cooling system. As for the photographic section, the device mounts a 64-megapixel main sensor, an 8-megapixel wide-angle, and a 2-megapixel macro. Among the new features are a street photography 2.0 mode, a long exposure mode, and filters with a 90s aesthetic. Selfies, meanwhile, are handled by a 16-megapixel sensor. The bigger model of the Realme 9 Pro is the Realme 9 Pro Plus. It shares with its smaller model the blue finish with light shift in much of its design, although it is somewhat lighter and noticeably thinner. However, these are not the only differences. Realme reserved the Super AMOLED screen for the Pro Plus model, which in this case is 6.4 inches. Their resolution is Full HD+, but the refresh rate drops to 90 Hz. Something worth noting is that the fingerprint reader is under the screen and also functions as a heart rate sensor, whose test lasts about 15 seconds. On the other hand, if in the previous model the processor is Qualcomm, the one in the Pro Plus model is MediaTek. Specifically, the MediaTek Dimensity 925G, whose GPU is the Mali G69 Mach 4. RAM and storage, however, remain unchanged, 6 and 8 GB, plus 5 GB of virtual RAM, and 128 and 256 GB of internal storage. The battery is reduced in capacity, dropping from 5000 to 4500 mAh, but it makes up for the loss with 65 watts fast charging, which is not bad at all. The operating system, of course, is Android 12 with Realme UI 3.0, the latest version of Realme's customization layer. Finally, let's talk about the camera. It is undoubtedly one of the main arguments of the smartphone, as it incorporates a 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 main sensor. To give us an idea, it is the same sensor that the Oppo Find X3 Pro 5G and the Honor Plus 9 and 9 Pro mounts. As if that wasn't enough, it also has OIS plus EIS. It also mounts a wide-angle, macro, and 16-megapixel front camera. The Realme 9 Pro and Realme 9 Pro Plus will be available in green, blue and black. They will be available starting February 23rd. Pricing is as follows. Realme 9 Pro 6GB RAM and 128GB for €329.99. Realme 9 Pro 8GB RAM and 256GB internal storage for €349.99. Realme 9 Pro Plus 6GB RAM and 128GB internal storage for €399.99. And Realme 9 Pro Plus 8GB RAM and 256GB internal storage for €439.99. Here ends our video on Realme 9 Pro and Realme 9 Pro Plus. We hope you find it very useful. If you have any suggestion, kindly share with us in the comments section. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Please click on the notification bell in front of the subscribe button to turn on notification for this channel, so as to notify you when I post new video. Thank you for watching.